I would love to have every athlete be natural, but hey, I like big lifts. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with some lunchtime content. Just some good old-fashioned lunchtime entertainment. Before we kind of get into the bulk of the discussion and where I want to go with this, I just want to show you guys some stuff on my Reddit page. So basically what you can do is post wins that you have based off of my Patreon programs and videos, things that, my videos have helped you with. So here's a video of a guy just finished a Patreon program and hit a 182 400-pound front squat. So he was able to break through the 400-pound mark on his front squat after doing one of my programs. I don't know which one. Great depth, good speed. Like that's just I love PRs that look like that. Sometimes lifts look like that. You add some weight and then you end up missing. Whatever. Either way, probably did maybe one of my squat programs, one of my weightlifting programs, who knows. But again, if you guys want to get stronger, check out my Patreon. And if you want to learn some stuff, go to my technique videos playlist. So the program he used here was the 4-week pull bump. Oh, he did that first. Then he did the 8-week block training, which is up there. And then this was after the strong like bull peaking / strength block. So all of those programs are there. Check them out if you want to do them. Zach's videos helped me with. So here we go. We have a 90 kilo PR snatch. Sets up with the low hips. Let's see if he pops them up. Yep, pops them up. Gets some. Oh, there you go. Good depth. A little bit of a walkout, but that's a PR. Look at him. Stoked. I love it. And the OP says, well, I mostly learned weightlifting through his videos, so all of them in a way, but don't pulverize your pubic bone. Helped me a lot with my timing. So guys, that's all I got to say about that. If you want to get stronger, go to my Patreon. If you want to learn how to lift, go to my technique videos. But today, I want to talk about this posted on my Reddit. Dmitry Klokov and 5 other Russian weightlifters charged for doping by International Testing Agency. And what you might be thinking is, hey, hasn't Dmitry Klokov been retired from weightlifting for years? Yes, the answer to that is yes, he has. But what they do in weightlifting is retroactive testing. They freeze the B samples of someone's urine, and then they, as technology advances, they're able to catch people retroactively with that advanced technology. So here we have the Barbend article. Let's see, Dmitry Klokov, Svetlana Sarukeva, Natalia Zabolotnaya, Apti, Aukhadov. That's a lifter that a lot of people love. Alexander Ivanov and Olga Zubova. All these athletes competed prior to 2018 when IWF reorganized their bodyweight categories. The doping charges are a result of 2 investigations, one by Professor Richard McLaren, who authored the McLaren Report, which revealed financial corruption and doping cover-ups by the IWF, and one by the World Anti-Doping Agency. The 6 athletes charged by the ITA have been informed and are provisionally suspended until their cases are resolved. Since 2019, 33 Russian weightlifters have been charged with doping violations and have been banned or provisionally suspended as a result. Russia was banned from the 2016 Rio Olympic Games, and their 2 weightlifters at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games represented the Russian Weightlifting Federation rather than their home country. As of March 2022, the IWF suspended the participation of all athletes, team officials, and technical officials from Russia and Belarus until further notice in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Look, I've talked about doping in this sport ad nauseum, whatever. It's Latin.
Hail Caesar!
And the stark reality is almost every single top result that we see on the men's side and most of the top results on the women's side come from lifters who I believe are on gear. And the crazy thing is this is not changing. It's not going to change. Hook Grip just posted a video of a 20-year-old junior lifter, Bodan Hoza, snatching 195 kilos at 109 body weight. The likelihood that that person is not on gear, I would say, is low, because what we're looking at is this human that much more genetically superior to the guys that were popped, aka Dmitry Klokov? Is he more genetically superior when he was 20 years old than he is now? Is this a natural athlete now? Is basically the question. And my guess is no, it's not. I've done a few videos and actually one podcast where I really dove into the corruption, and there are two really good examples. The first one is with Shaheen Nasarinya. And in this video, Shaheen details what happened to him at the Athens Olympic Games. Essentially, what the IWF, in particular Thomas Ayan, who's no longer affiliated with the IWF, but he was the president for a long time and incredibly corrupt. What happened was the IWF created this kind of racketeering situation where they would have control over results by way of doping or dope testing. Okay, so if you wanted to, have your results go through and not be popped for drugs, you could pay a fee to Ayan. There were so many dealings where countries would pay hundreds of thousands and added up to millions of dollars in cash to Ayan for basically trading immunity for these doping tests. This is where it really became unfair. And in Shaheen's case, they said, you better not beat Piros Dimas and or Georgi Adzanidze. Piros Dimas, I believe, is the head coach of the USAW Weightlifting Federation. I don't know the exact title. I know he's involved. And Georgi Adzanidze is the head coach of Georgia, where Lasha Talkhadze, the greatest weightlifter of all time, currently lifts. Shaheen was warming up, and in this little memoir that he wrote on Instagram, he said he was in the best shape of his life. He was told that he was not allowed to get this gold medal or something around that. If you guys want to check out more of the specifics, please watch that video. He was told he cannot lift well or in a place where he's in medal contention, or else the entirety of Team Iran would be popped. So what did he do? He faked an elbow injury. He said that he faked it, and you can see it while he's warming up. He's grabbing his elbow. He goes up for his first snatch. Oh, my elbow hurts. There we go. Okay, that's the level of corruption. That's the shaking down of countries and athletes that Ayan did. Another example of this was my good friend Gabriel Sincran, who was on a podcast with me. Basically, we ended up talking about his experience as he comes off the podium to get his bronze medal. Ayan goes to the fourth place finisher, shakes his hand, skips over Sincran, shakes the hand of the second place finisher, and shakes the hand of the first place finisher. This was because Gabriel Sincran didn't play along with Ayan. He ended up getting popped, and the 1, 2, and 4 place finishers, they were apparently clean. They ended up getting first, second, and third. I really don't want to have the discussion, the moral debate of whether you should be allowed to take steroids or not or whatever. But the reality is, all I can be is a skeptic at this point. And all I can be is conflicted. I would love to have every athlete be natural and partake in this sport naturally. I really would. I think it would be just as exciting. But that's my opinion. I think a lot of you out there are going to disagree. But hey, I like big lifts, and I cannot lie. So I also like when doped up lifters break world records. Like, there's the conflicted thing right there. I just basically delivered some sort of hypocrisy to you guys. How this gets a little bit more tricky is, the balancing of currently national testing and international testing and the disparities that you will see. So in certain countries, the national testing is much more lax, and it's much more controlled by the national federation. It's hard to say if you're going to get a clean lifter from country A, where the likelihood at country B maybe like something like United States, where USADA is just crazy. They're rabid, the way that they drug test and the way that they are surefire in the way that they're able to keep this sport clean. When you compare those two, you have that discrepancy. So it's a very similar situation, okay? You have the discrepancy in certain countries not being able to pay money to pass drug tests. Well, you have the certain countries not being able to dope up in the first place. There is a massive delta between what a natural lifter can snatch and a natural lifter can clean and jerk compared to what a doped up lifter can snatch and clean and jerk. I think we all know that. And these numbers are not dropping down, as we saw by that snatch in Junior Worlds just recently. Okay, that number has been the number right around 190 plus at the heavyweight body weight. So we're looking anywhere from 105 to 110 as the weight classes have changed. That number, 105, and anything heavier than that, that's likely someone on drugs. It's likely that the sport is not changing. It's not getting any cleaner. I would say before the recent announcement from the IOC saying, hey, weightlifting, as of right now, you're likely going to be out of 2028. They didn't say for sure. They said by the time we meet in 2023, you better have your act together or else you will not be here in 2028. Before that meeting, I would have said it's 60% chance that we will be in the 2028 Olympic Games. Olympic weightlifting has a 60% chance of being in, I believe it's LA. Now, after that, I think it's more like 15% chance. I would say honestly, 15 to maybe 20% chance that we will be in LA. And who knows what the future entails. I just think it's interesting now that we are seeing these results from Dmitry Klokov and Apti Aukhadov, two lifters that are very famous in this. I mean, we now have the most famous, as far as the internet goes and influence goes, weightlifter outside of maybe Liu Xiaojun, who has competed in an Olympic Games, is now officially popped. Has now officially been sanctioned, whether he's a lifter or not. I think it's very interesting. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. God, it's kind of like the same old song and dance. I don't really know what else to say about doping at this point, but please, if you have something that you want to say, please comment it below. I would love for some nuance, for some interesting ideas. Yeah, sure, if you're angry about it and you say everyone's on gear, let them all take gear, post that as well. But I would like to see some nuanced takes in the comment section. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.